I'm David with Revolution Golf Cars in Augusta, Georgia. In today's video, we're going to be installing bundle number 3281 from Eco Battery in this E-Z-GO TXT. I know this is not something that we normally do. Normally we only do club car stuff, but today we're going to do an E-Z-GO installation. There's been a lot of requests for it, so we're going to knock this out and we're going to show you exactly how to do it. Stay tuned. First thing we need to do is put the car in tow mode. Then look at the battery pack to make sure we don't have any additional circuits drawing off of these intermediate batteries between the main positive and the main negative battery in this series circuit of batteries. On this particular car we don't. The only thing we have on these terminals is the battery jumper wires. So we need to identify the other wires on our main posts. So we've got the negative post here, we got the main cable that runs the car, then we got a black wire that runs to the charger port and a black wire that runs to the 48 12-volt reducer. This car has a reducer on it from the factory. They don't all have that. This one does. So we don't need the Eco Battery reducer that is offered with our battery bundle. The reducer can be included or excluded, and it does change the price of the bundle accordingly. On the positive terminal, we've got the main wire here in green, and these two wires that run to the charger receptacle, and then this red wire that runs over to the voltage converter. So now that we've identified all of our wires, we can remove the batteries. After you get the batteries out, you can start to install the Eco Battery. The first thing you want to do is clean up the battery trays and make sure there's no acid or corrosion or anything underneath where you're going to put your lithium battery. Once you get that clean, you can begin. You can set the battery in the front half of the tray or the rear half of the tray. We prefer to put it in the front. Set it down just like that, and then we're going to drill the mounting holes. And if you'll notice, on this particular car, there's already a hole that lines up with one of the holes on the battery, so we don't have to drill that one. It's the same on both sides, but we do want to put more than one hole on each side of the battery. So we're going to drill another hole. Don't do it on the one right next to it. Do it on the one on the end here. Mark your hole with a marker. Put you a dot there. And then on the opposite side of the car, do the one in the back. That way the battery can't twist or rock. You're going to have 4 bolts holding the battery down. Use a drill with a 5/16 drill bit and go straight through where you marked your hole. All right, we've got our holes drilled. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The next thing we want to do is take a shop vac and vacuum these metal shavings out of the battery tray. We don't want to leave those under the battery because they will get damp and they will rust, and we don't want that. Okay, now we can put our battery in and we can put the bolts through it and bolt it down. Make sure it lines up with all of your holes. And it does. So we are good. Okay, using the included hardware, we're going to put a lock washer under the head of the bolt, and then we're going to put a flat washer, and we're going to put the bolt through the hole, and we're going to use one of these flange nuts on the bottom side. You can go ahead and start those. Put all 4 bolts through and start the nut on all 4 of them. Once all of the bolts are in place, tighten them up. And that's it. Our battery is mounted. Now we're going to remove the factory charge port. Get a drill with a 3/16 drill bit and drill the rivets out. Apply pressure ever so slightly. Don't push too hard, because if you do, it's going to break the rivet loose and the whole rivet's going to spin. And now it will come out. Locate the wiring harness that comes from the back of the charger receptacle and remove everything associated with it. It's going to be the black wire, the red wire, and the gray wire with the temp sensor on it. All of that comes off. The little orange wire is going to stay on the car. Now we're going to mount the charger. Using the hardware that comes with the kit, you got 4 self-tapping screws. Take an 8mm socket on an impact wrench. These bolts will actually make their own holes. So on the E-Z-GO, I like to put the charger on the back wall here, slide the charger up on the back of the battery rack to where it just barely has any engagement, and make a mark. Once you make your mark, you can put your self-tapping screws in, all 4 corners, like so. When you're doing the top ones, you need to reach behind this piece of metal back here and make sure you don't have a wire harness back there that's going to get in the way. You don't want to drill through that, so make sure you drop it down while you're drilling your holes. And that's it. The charger's mounted. It's in a good, safe location. Nothing's going to come up from underneath the car and damage it as if it would if it was mounted flat into the battery tray. So it's got plenty of air gap around it for the cooling, so we're happy with this. Now we're going to install the Eco battery charge port. Put it in the hole where the original charge port came out of, and using a Phillips screwdriver or an impact wrench with a Phillips bit, take the 4 included black bolts that came with the charger receptacle and put it through the 4 holes where the rivets originally came out of. They're a little bit tight, but you can get them in there with a screwdriver. You may have to drill these out just a little bit. On this car we don't. They actually fit pretty well. I'm gonna put those through. Take a 10mm wrench on the nut and tighten your hardware. Okay, on our charger, cut the wire ties off with the cables. This large cable right here is the one that's going to plug into our charger receptacle. So we're going to route this thing over this piece of steel. And then back around here. I'm going to plug it in to the charger, like so, until it clicks, and then use some wire ties, some zip ties to tie up all of your excess wiring. And what we're going to do, we're going to tie this up nice and neat. We're going to tuck it in back here to where you can't see it. Once you've got that done, you can pull the excess out, like so. on the bottom of the charger, we're going to cut the wire tie like we did before, pull the wires out. You've got the positive and negative wires that go on the battery terminals, and you've got this CAN connector that's going to plug into the battery CAN port. We'll show you how to do that in just a second. So tie these wires up nice and neat. You're not going to use this 2-pin connector here, so tie it right here as so to your existing cord. And you cannot overdo this. You can't put too many zip ties on here, because the more secure it is, the better it is. The less it's going to move, and the less likely it is to fall out. Cut your excess zip tie length off of the zip ties. Like so. So now we've got these wires here that we're going to connect when we're ready to hook the battery up. Okay, now we're going to remove the center dash so we can install the gauge. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips screws out and take a flathead screwdriver and put behind it, kind of work it out. The cup holder and the center dash pocket right here will separate. So all you want to pull out is just this dash compartment. You don't want to pull out the cup holder. You can, but you don't have to. We're going to install our gauge where the factory charge meter was. So you're going to have to take a piece of metal to put your pilot hole there so the hole saw doesn't jump, and drill straight through it. We're going to make a 2-inch hole. If you don't have a factory gauge there, you don't have to put the guide there. The plastic will hold the hole saw centered. This is what it looks like after the gauge is mounted. We used a 2-inch hole saw to drill straight through the plastic, and on the back side of the gauge we used the included bracket and hardware to tighten the gauge up against the back of the plastic dash. Now we're going to drill a hole right here for our Gen 3 battery wake up button. Okay, this is what it looks like. We've drilled a hole through it with a 5/8 hole saw. You can use a drill bit as well. And on the back side of the wake up button, you use the retaining nut and just snug it down so the button doesn't move. And we'll show you how to hook it up. Okay, this cable is the cable that runs to your wake up button. That little red plug right there is going to plug into the back of it. And then this is going to run back and plug into your battery. And here, this other cord, this is going to plug into the gauge. These 2 little connectors here plug into the gauge, and it's going to run all the way back and connect to your battery here. All right, this is the back of the dash. Make sure that you line everything up correctly and plug it in until it snaps. The same thing on the gauge. It only fits one way. And once you've got those in place, tidy up the wiring and put the dash back together. All right, we got the dash back in, got all the wiring run under the car, and now we've got to connect everything to the battery. All right, let's take this cable that runs to the back of our wake up button. We're going to go right here to this COM terminal right here on the left. It only goes in one way. Tighten the retaining nut. And then we're going to take the other wire that runs to the gauge and connect it to the other COM terminal and tighten the retaining nut. And coming off of this connector, you're going to find these 2 CAN connectors. They're going to plug into the one that comes from the charger that we mentioned earlier, right here. You can plug it into either one of these. It doesn't matter which one. Set that to the side for now. And now we're going to hook all the wiring up to the battery. All right, we're going to locate the orange wire that ran to the back of the charger port and cut the connector off of it. I'm going to strip it back, and we're going to put a 5/16 ring terminal on this wire. We're going to put it on the positive terminal of the battery. This is the interlock wire. The car will not run with this wire disconnected. We don't have a factory charge port to provide power to this wire anymore, so we've got to go straight to the battery. It's going to go to the positive terminal right here. So take your included hardware, it comes with a battery. We're going to locate all of the wires that go on the positive terminal. We're going to start here with this. Actually, we're going to start with these smaller wires first. Start with the smallest to work your way up to the largest. Take your smallest wire, put the bolt through it, and take your 10 gauge red wire for your voltage reducer. And you've got another 10 gauge red wire for your charger. And then you've got the big green power cable that runs to the solenoid. And run it through here too. Then we could put them all on the battery together. Tighten it up. We're going to do the same thing on the negative. Start with the smaller wires. Put the larger wire against the battery, like so. Now we're going to tighten those up. Okay, we've got everything installed, everything tight, so now we can put our terminal protectors on. And turn on the battery. If the gauge comes on, that's a good sign. That means everything's working. The battery is on and the gauge is reading the battery. The next thing we're going to want to do is to check to make sure that the charger works. Okay, so we're using our E-Z-GO battery power cord, which is also available in our online store. On this cord, you'll notice that there's a little green light on the bottom. If the green light is on, it means it's getting power out of the wall, so that's a good sign. You're going to open up the charger port cover and plug it right in, like so. The fan on the charger begins to run, which is a good sign. And on the gauge, we see that the charger is putting out 14.6 amps. That means that there is power being put into your battery pack from your charger. This ammeter on the bottom of the gauge actually works for you as well while you're driving, and it will show you how many amps are being pulled from the battery in real time while you're driving. So that's very helpful to keep a monitor on things. When the charger is finished, the battery percentage will read 100% and the charger will turn off and the amp reading will go back down to 0. This is the battery wake up button installed, and what this does is if the battery goes to sleep from sitting for a period of time, the light will turn off and the battery will shut down. So you can actually press this button to turn the battery back on rather than having to open the seat and cycle the power button like you used to have to do on the Gen 2 batteries. Okay, so as I had mentioned before, this vehicle already had a 48 to 12 volt reducer on it for the light kit that's on this car, so we didn't need to install the one that came from E-Z-GO battery that comes with this bundle. But I still want to show you how to hook it up in case we did need to use it. So this reducer essentially can mount anywhere in the car, and I'll show you where I like to put those in just a minute. On the end of the wire harness here, we've got a plug, and we've got a matching connector that comes with it with the wires that come off of the end of it here, and we've got, as you see, we've got two larger wires. We've got a red and a black. That's going to be your 12-volt output. Red, of course, is positive. Black is your negative. The yellow and the smaller black are going to be your 48-volt input. The yellow wire is going to go on the positive battery terminal. The black wire is going to go on the negative battery terminal. And the orange wire is going to go all the way up to the key switch and is going to connect to the key switch on the load side of the key switch, which would be the side of the key switch that is hot only when the key is on. On an E-Z-GO TXT, that is going to be the yellow wire with the white stripe. And if I were installing this reducer on this car right here, this is where I would put it. I would take this bolt right here out, move this horn over here somewhere else out of the way, and I would mount the 12-volt reducer down here onto this flat floor pan right here. That way it's protected from the elements underneath. And like I just told you, I would hook all the wiring up as instructed, and it will be key triggered and turn on and off with the key switch to power your 12-volt accessories. Okay, everything's hooked up and connected. We're going to turn on the key switch, put the car in forward, and press the accelerator slowly, and see if we get movement out of the car, in which we do. We're going to move it back. And again, if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. info@revolutiongolfcars.com or 706-431-3917. You can call or text that number. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate all of the feedback and all of the followers that we have, and future followers that are interested in learning about golf cars and installations on our products. So again, thanks for watching, and we hope you have a great day.